Greetings, agents. This is Private Boulders, the mediocre gamer, and this is the Division 2. I really hope you're doing well today. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. If you find it useful or helpful, please consider liking and or subscribing so that I can grow my channel and hopefully make more mediocre videos. The topic of today's video is the global modifier for Year 6 Season 3 Burden of Truth, which is called Rogue Momentum. I got a little bit curious about this global modifier, and I was wondering if different builds build momentum quicker than other builds, or how they kind of performed in a testing environment, kind of stacked next to each other. So just a quick reminder, if you haven't started this season yet, or you may have forgotten what Rogue Momentum is, you build momentum by eliminating enemies, i.e. kills, multi-kills, headshots, skill kills, and tactical kills. Higher tiers grant escalating bonuses, but momentum decays over time. The decay is temporarily slowed when you sprint or use pulse. So with that in mind, you know, that bit there that's in brackets, like kills, multi-kills, headshots, skill kills, tactical kills. I spent a little bit of time in the firing range today. Just with, I think I tested 6 different builds just to see how they kind of compared to each other. So, you know, it's obviously it's not real world or an indication of real world performance. It is in a testing environment where it's kind of controlled to a certain degree. I didn't have to worry about enemies attacking me or flanking me or anything like that. I could just kind of set up there and put my build to work. And I ran each build through a scenario about 4 or 5 times, and I took the best 3 and then I took an average. So what I was actually measuring, I was timing how long it took in seconds to go from 0 momentum to unstoppable, which is what's that, 5th tier? The 5th tier. So once I saw that little notification come up next to the Rogue Momentum kind of bar that I was unstoppable, I would then pause the time, reset everything, and have another go. And did that kind of 4 or 5 times, took the best 3, and took an average in seconds. So this is not about, you know, which build is the best, or you know, I just kind of used some builds that I had on hand. A lot of them weren't optimized. And there's also, you know, user error that kind of plays into this. So, you know, maybe it's not the best kind of test, but I thought I'd give it a go because I was curious. I did turn off all the modifiers except Rogue Momentum. I think I had 1 modifier going there for a little while, but that was I can't remember what it's called. But it was, I had to press a button to activate it, so it didn't affect the test. So I didn't have any passive modifiers. I just had Rogue Momentum activated to just try and keep it as even as possible. And so, yeah, what happened? Well, I'll go through the builds first. So the first test I did was just with a standard strikers build. So 4 pieces of strikers, Seska chest with obliterate, and a Grupo backpack with unstoppable force, gunner spec with Lexington, and then is there anything I've left out there? Oh, killer. I had the damage talent on Lexington was killer. Everything rolled to crit chance, crit damage. And then the next one I tested was a marksman's rifle build. So 4 pieces of hot shot with chain killer, which has perfect headhunter, and the gift, which has perfect vigilance. All rolled to headshot damage and weapon handling where possible. I was using a Model 700 with determined and sharpshooter specialization. Then the next one I tested was just a standard, very basic turret and drone high-end build. So we had 3 pieces of Empress. The chest talent was glass cannon. The backpack was the named Hannah Yu Force Multiplier backpack with perfect combined arms. And then another Hannah Yu piece, and then 1 Wyvern piece, all rolled to skill damage and skill haste. With an assault turret and a striker drone, using capacitor and a technician specialization. So it's 6 skill tiers there. The next one I tested was a fire eclipse build. So that was 4 pieces of Eclipse Protocol with the chest and backpack, Vile Mask, and an electric knee pads. Obviously all skill tiers there and all rolled to status effects. Firewall specialization once again with capacitor. And I was using the Firestarter chem launcher and the burn sticky bomb. The next one I was using was like a Seeker spam build. So that was 4 pieces of hardwired using the backpack, a China Light chest with glass cannon, BTSU data gloves, not that I really needed to use them. Everything rolled to skill damage and skill haste. We were using the demo specialization with capacitor, and I was using the cluster seeker mines with scanner pulse. And then the next one was an artillery turret. So that was 3 pieces of Empress, chest with glass cannon. Backpack was the named China Light strategic alignment, which comes with perfect shock and awe, and 2 pieces of Wyvern. All skill tiers all rolled to skill damage and skill haste. Demo spec, and I was using a shotgun with in-sync. Obviously I was using the artillery turret, and I didn't use the seeker mine, but I was equipped anyway. And lastly, I was using the oxidizer build, or an oxidizer build. So 3 pieces of Empress, a Wyvern piece with glass cannon, tech support on for the backpack talent, Contractor's gloves rolled to a skill tier with skill damage, and Fox's prayers rolled to a skill tier with the damage to targets out of cover. They actually had a weapon core. I was using capacitor with technician spec. Obviously the oxidizer chem launcher and the artificer hive. So if we go to my spreadsheet now, we will see the results that I have obtained. And you can see straight away that the artillery build was at number 1. So an average there of 10 seconds to get from 0 momentum to unstoppable. So I guess that the artillery turret is able to do damage to multiple enemies at the same time, and you can actually spam that pretty well. So as soon as one's landed, you can pretty much land another one, so it's able to do damage pretty quickly. So yeah, artillery turret coming in first. Second was the Seeker Spam build, the hardwired build, so that came in at an average of 18 seconds. to get to unstoppable momentum. So it was pretty good, just you know, spamming those cluster seeker mines. Got it up there pretty quickly. And then next we had the fire eclipse build. So that worked pretty well, just firing the chem launcher, getting all those targets on fire and dying, and then rinse and repeat basically. So that got there in 24 seconds. And then it was a tie really, like almost an exact tie between the oxidizer and the hotshot build. So oxidizer basically melting away their armor there, and hotshot just repeatedly landing headshots there on the target. So 27.67 seconds to get to unstoppable. And then we had the standard turret drone. So both of them going at the targets, taking an average of 42 seconds. And then coming in last was Striker, with an average of 50 seconds to get to unstoppable or tier 5 momentum. So I was quite surprised by turret drone. I thought that might have gotten a bit quicker, considering that is kind of the, if someone's, having a go at a skill build, then, generally the first one that they make is a turret drone. So I was quite surprised there. I guess, things like artillery, turret, oxidizer, they're fairly specialized, and I'd be really surprised, particularly with the artillery turret, I'd be really surprised if you could replicate those figures in the real world, unless you're really good at getting enemies coming out of spawn points and stuff like that. Same with oxidizer, that works best with enemies or hostiles that are clumped together. Fire eclipse, that goes pretty well. That has a nice spread on it. But and also seeker spam, that works pretty well. Also, if you're running the cluster mines, so that's probably if you're looking at doing one of these builds, I'd probably recommend maybe seeker spam. Although the downside of those seekers is at higher difficulties, the enemies kind of jump out of the way, which is frustrating. Particularly at heroic, they jump out of the way pretty effectively. So maybe you wouldn't get an average of 18 seconds in real world, but it's still one to consider. And then the headshots with hotshot, that's not. I mean, I would not get anywhere near that in real world. I'm absolutely woeful at landing headshots. So, you might be better. You might be a better headshot than me, which wouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, really surprised by turret drone, and yeah, I guess I'm not surprised by striker, as this season is definitely skill build focused. So yeah, I'm not surprised that striker took a fair while to get to tier 5. Yeah, what that's my testing statistics. What are your thoughts, agents? Do you have any feedback? Is there anything glaringly obvious that I've missed? As I said, I didn't test every, obviously I didn't test every build. But are there some other builds that, maybe are worthwhile testing? I do know that once you kind of get to maybe journey 5 or 6, you can unlock one of the modifiers that works really well with like a Heartbreaker build. I didn't test that because I haven't unlocked that yet. But yeah, be keen for any feedback or any thoughts or any questions. But that's all for now. Once again, I really thank you for watching. Please consider liking or subscribing. And until next time, you stay safe out there, agents. Take care.